Okay, let's try that again. Come on, it's a freeway, let's go. Okay, now we're up to lovely freeway speed. I'll kind of at least start to go over at least as far as my opinion of 650 versus 1000. I had my 650 for what, 5 or 6 months, I think. I kind of lost track as far as time, but I was riding it pretty much every day. And it was for people that don't know, it's a 2000 curvy naked. It was the carbureted. I had it for about 3 or 4 months on the stock, everything, which it was a lot of fun, but I was hoping for a little bit more out of it. So I grabbed me a full Leo vents and rejetted it, and that was a lot of fun. It made quite a bit of power, but I had some issues for the fact that it was so high strung out on the freeway, and like the low end grunt was entertaining, but not quite what I was still asking for a little bit more, so not quite what I wanted. And yeah, the short gears, while they were very fun, like I said, on the freeway, it just was all out of power. The minute you get around 80, it just seemed to just run out of steam. I mean, it would still get to 120, but it took a while. No one now, does anyone ever need to go that speed? No, but you know, it is fun sometimes. As far as, so I guess we could just break this down. For power first, the SV650, yeah, a lot of fun, and it's not enough to really get you in a lot of trouble as far as like for new riders. You can pretty safely jam on it. It may pick up the front end a little bit, may it skip a little bit, but not enough to really mess you up. Maybe if you had a really choppy rear tire like I did, it was one of the cheap Shinkos, it can get a little sketcy, but not enough to really get you in a lot of trouble. So still good for a starter bike, but it still had plenty of power to dick around on and have a lot of fun. It was a head turner. Everyone loved to see it just because of the noise it made with that nice Leo vents. And it was a good looking bike, it really was. So I was pretty happy with it, but just the lack of power was bothering me. And another part of me too wanted to upgrade to fuel injection. And really the only thing with the fuel injection, I had no problems with the carburetor. I really didn't. It was always started up smooth. There was never a problem. It was always reliable. The part that got me was tuning. It was such a frustrating, painful nightmare of pulling the carbs out, rejetting, dropping it back in, realizing it's too rich, pulling it out, rejetting, realizing it's too lean, pull it out, rejet it. It would just drive me nuts. You know, once you got it right, it's great. Just don't touch it. And then once you got down to it, you're like, oh man, I want to add a different air filter now. You got to do it all over again. And that right there, it was enough for me to say, all right, that's enough. I want to get out of this. So I was like, okay, well, not a worry. I'll switch to fuel injection eventually. And a good deal came up on this 1000 that you see below you, and I thought, all right, I'll give it a whirl. I'll see what it's like. I'll try it out. And power-wise, the 1000, it's just got so much more torque. I mean, literally, around town, I never get out of like eighth to a full quarter throttle. I mean, quarter throttle is plenty to outrun just about anything. Half throttle gets a little wicked. I mean, half throttle, I'm pretty sure I could beat most powerful cars with it. It's just a tremendous amount. And I'm talking powerful cars like Mustangs. I'm not talking Corvettes here. It'll walk a Corvette, but you kind of got to ask a little bit more out of it. Please don't rear me. And the other thing too is just how ridiculously tall the gears are. The torque provides plenty to pull it out of those tall gears. So it's like in third gear, you know, you can do 45 very easily and have plenty of power to move out of the way if you need to. I mean, here I'm in fourth gear at 4,000 RPM doing 50-ish. I think the speedometer is a little what's the word for overexcited? It thinks it's going faster than it really is. I think right now we're doing 50 or so. Dropping into third real quick and have a little bit of a... Alright, Durango, let's go. See, I don't think I'm doing 75 right now. Maybe 68, 70, somewhere right around there. Above 65, because nobody does 65 on the freeway. Nobody. At least in Fresno, anyways. And the only people that do are being run over or are about to be. But anywho, back onto the power of the 1000. Definitely not for novices. Around the same time I got it like put back together, you can read the story on some of the forums I post on, but I decided to give it just the full beans and see what it would feel like. I gave it full throttle in first gear with about as quick as a wrap as I could, and the front end went straight up to the sky, and when it did, I really wasn't expecting it to get that twisted, and so I really wasn't ready to pedal it back down. And so I started pedaling it back down. I didn't let it down easy as I should, and I slammed it into the ground. I was really upset at myself for that, and then what had happened is when it hit the ground, it pulled the lower radiator hose clean off. The radiator swung forward and smashed into the front forks, bending it in multiple places and stabbing a pretty good sized hole in it where the brake line tab holds the line onto the forks. So that rendered it pretty helpless for a little while, but you know, you win some, you lose some, I guess. I learned the hard way on that one. Damn Jeep tailgating me and shit. I have no mirrors and I can see your shadow. You're too fucking close. Okay, so if as people thinking, 650 to 1000, the other big thing is weight. It is heavy. I'm pretty sure a fuel injected 650 to a fuel injected 1000, 03 to 03, it's probably not that big a difference. But from my very light carbureted first gen, you can definitely tell a difference. Initially you can stand there and pick up the bike back, one to the other and feel how heavy they are. You can definitely tell there's some extra weight in the 1000. Now, is it worth it power-wise? Yeah, totally worth it. I still feel, these at speed, feels just as nimble and just as responsive. Now, I've never been to a track, so the track guys right now may be saying, oh, well, the 650 can change direction so much faster. But I don't really intend to do, like, track racing. I just am going to be city commuting and dicking around with buddies. That's about all I do. If I want to go on a racetrack, I'm going to be in a car. Sorry. Other fantastic pluses on the 1000. The basically GSXR brakes are fantastic. The fully adjustable forks are fantastic. They have a, having the ability to adjust the preload is just so much nicer. Coming with, hydraulic clutch and a hydraulic, brake with an external reservoir is much nicer than the clutch cable one. I see a lot of people converting the 1000s from the Hydro to cable. Now I'll admit, I don't understand why. The Hydro's just fine. Oh man, I really want to beat this train. Oh well, I can just take the scenic route today. It's got a nice smooth engagement. I can always tell when it's grabbing. Okay, come on people, we can beat the train. Let's do it. Come on and take it out of the way. People complain that there's not enough feel. I mean, I've got a fantastic set of feel for it. Shit, we're not gonna beat it. Oh well, scenic route today. Hello, train. Yeah, 6th gear at 45. Not really helping. The 650, I'd be in 6th gear everywhere. 40 miles an hour, 6th gear. 70 miles an hour, 6th gear. It's just like 6th gear should be reserved for those extremely high RPMs, extremely high speeds. Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna make it. Straight lane it is. The dual exhaust, a lot of people are like, oh my god, stock dual exhaust looks so cool, and the 650 guys, some people add the dual exhaust. I'm not a big fan of it. As far as looks personally, I mean, this is Mikey B's personal opinions on stuff. It just makes it look really big, like the Hayabusa kind of big, where it just makes the bike look like it weighs a ton and it just hampers around and it's nothing but a drag bike. And I don't like that. Again, personal opinion on that. Actual functionality decrease, you can't reach the flippin' kickstand without a big tumor hanging off of it. Let's see if I can manage to show you this while I ride here, but, well, no, you can't really see it. Next time I'm sitting still, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Other things, the 650 to 1000. The much wider rear tire, that's very nice. I know, you know, as far as handling with the 650, I got pretty close to the edge, not as, you know, close as I could have been, but having a bit bigger rear tire does feel a little bit more confidence inspiring. Yeah, I can beat him there if you will all get out of my way. All beat him. Come on. There's a railroad crossing down here, but it's like usually when people see it, that train is blocking that street where I just wanted to turn on, everyone, okay, now we go. Everyone speeds up and comes down here to that railroad crossing and is able to make it without having to wait for the other street to be freed up. Damn it. Oh well, I guess I got a minute to sit and chat anyways. I blame it on the garbage truck. No, so this is what I'm talking about. So it's like, if you want to reach your kickstand, it's under the damn exhaust. You've got to have this big tumor coming out the side of the damn thing to even reach it. My goodness, this train is long. And then past, you know, the frame and the bodywork and everything else is pretty much the same as the fuel injected. I've never actually got time to like sit with an 03, you know, fuel injected plus whatever 650 and compare them back and forth. I did get to ride one. That was actually the very first SV that I ever rode, was I believe an 07, where the gauges, the numbers changed font by a little bit. And that was my very first experience on one, and that's what made me fall in love with them. But I've never had a chance to sit them side by side and really compare left and right. But if anyone is thinking, you know, I have my 650 and I really enjoy it, but I want just that little bit more power, oh yeah, I would recommend it. It's a lot of fun. I swing pretty close horsepower and wise with my roommate's Ducati 999. He beats me by a little bit, but I'm pretty certain once I get the tune on this thing sorted out, it's going to be a lot closer. Just because the previous owner of this one cut the top off the airbox, and so it's got the thing all freaked out. I've got the base map for the exhaust that's on it, but unfortunately it's not quite close enough. Oh, 1 mile away line of cars. I guess I could get off and stretch for a minute. You can actually look at the bike. It's not too bad looking. It's rocking a naked headlight, and at least for now, it's the Service Cyclops. It's one of the little temp headlights you can bungee on, and it's not too bad. I like it. I'll switch it eventually, but for now it looks pretty darn sharp. I will say though, it does have these Continental Conti Tac Pros. Not too happy with them. Not too happy with them. Really late, slow, unresponsive kind of feeling. Yeah, now we get to go again. Let's go, please. not attached to Earth. I don't know what you're talking about, sir. I've got perfect feel of that hydro. There's no like delay or smooshiness. Got a nice heavy feel to it. Let's see what people are talking about. I didn't like my cable clutch. It felt notchy and grainy. Maybe because it was old. I'm sure if I changed it that would probably go away, but this is stock too. It's still doing just fine. 3 years newer. It feels great. What are people doing? This is going to be a long video. YouTube is going to be so pissed. Who cares? Now, if you're still watching this video and you're not like a close friend of mine that knows who I am personally, I applaud you for staying and actually listening to the crap I have to talk about. If you skip to this point, shame on you. As far as people that are thinking out there, oh, I want a SV650, but I've never ridden a motorcycle before, and I want the 1000, do not do that. It can be manageable. Could you survive it? Oh yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people that could do just fine. The previous owner of this motorcycle bought it as a first bike, and let me go back to that, he crashed it. This bike can and will spin the rear tire easily if you allow it to. R6. Yeah, it's like mid-lean. If you give it anything past like quarter to half throttle, at least on this tire, it spins it, and there's no turning back. Most people will panic, chop that throttle off, and then end up high-siding real quick. I'll give you an idea of at least the torque on the same. First gear, 30 into second gear, third gear, and you can cruise right here in third gear just about anywhere. That's fine. You can go to fourth gear for a little bit, drop in RPM, but sure, it's fine. It's happy there. It's still, like I said, it's still nimble and responsive. I'm not weaving in much because I hate these fucking tires, but I've done it a few times, and man, it still feels pretty damn sharp. No complaints. That's a lot of people's concern. Oh, well, it's so much heavier. Really, not that much. You can tell, but it's, you know, once you're riding, you won't know the difference. All right, Prius, let's go. 0 to stupid in a couple seconds. Go park with the girls. Well, we'll be signing off. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your input. Please comment and let me know what you think, and let's start some arguments and all that good stuff.